So we've been following Peter Deunov of the Great White Brotherhood, also known as Light Workers, and his very surprising predictions of ascension, what happens to us, how we split. So I thought it'd be really fun if we took Edgar Cayce, Dolores Cannon, the Hopi, and Peter Deunov and put them all together and saw the differences in the different stages. The truth is, there is no one way to anything. But as a collective, we are creating a future together that is unfolding right now. We're going to talk about that. There's actually one part that is the most surprising about this, and the subject matter is the fate of the unprepared. Isn't that what we're all interested in? What if I don't make it? What about my children? I said, children always make it. Pets always make it. Okay. It's the rest of us who have a history of doing some not so nice things. What if we are unprepared? I'm going to tell you what each of them says about that. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I think we need to start listening to ourselves. Every time you say something or have a thought, I want you to look at it and ask yourself, was that ego? Are you telling other people what to do, how to act, how to behave, or are you contributing in a positive way? It's really going to come down to that. It really does. And if you don't listen to yourself, you won't catch the fact that you are separating, judging, and possibly in a state of hate, fear, anger. The spiritual transition of Earth and the rise of a new world are described in what I'm about to present to you. Now, I'm going to give you four distinct prophetic lenses. And while they all share a fundamental vision of a massive planetary and human evolution, they describe the mechanics, timelines, and outcomes of this transition differently. Now, you might say, oh, no, they're really sound alike, but we're going to go into what happens if you don't make it. Will it happen in our lifetime? I don't know. Not necessarily, right? We think it's going to be happening next year or so. We are starting it. It could be a process that could be over decades. No one actually has those answers, but we do know one thing. Things will collapse and dissolve in order for the new to come in. The dimensional split and the two Earths. Dolores Cannon's vision, gathered through regressive hypnotherapy. She didn't channel. She was getting it through patients who she hypnotized, and these beings gave her information, and that's where all of her books came from. It centers on a literal dimensional shift, a literal one, and a bifurcation of reality. The 3D to 5D shift. Cannon states that the Earth is a living entity, raising its vibration to transition from the third dimension to the fifth. She's evolving too, skipping the fourth dimension entirely because time does not exist there. The split of the two Earths, rather than physical destruction, the planet is splitting into two separate worlds, the old world and the new Earth, much like a cell dividing in two. So let's talk about that, because people have asked her, is that physical? Is it dimensional? So she talks about the light body. Those transitioning to the new Earth must raise their vibrational frequency, which changes their physical form at a cellular level into a non-aging light body. Shifting to a lighter diet of live foods like fresh fruits and vegetables and drinking plenty of water is required to facilitate this physical adjustment. Your body's changing, your DNA is changing, there's a lot changing in here, and we're firing up some things, and this is where your abilities are going to start to be enhanced. The eradication of karma and fear. And I've shot videos myself and told you, karma is now. Clear it up now. You don't have to suffer a few more lifetimes to clear up what you did in World War I or II. So to ascend, humans must rid themselves of negative karma by forgiving and letting go, right? And release fear, as these denser emotions lock a soul's vibration to the old Earth. You got to let it go. The three waves of volunteers. Since souls trapped in the Earth's karmic cycle were struggling to evolve, three waves of highly advanced, pure volunteer souls from other dimensions and starships incarnated on Earth to act as antennas of positive energy to help tip the scales. Most of them didn't have to come here. They volunteered. Let's talk about Peter Deunov, cosmic fire, cosmic electricity, and the sixth race. The Bulgarian master, Peter Deunov, prophesied a transition out of the dark age of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the dark age, and then we're going into what he called a new era defined by a cosmic purification. Deunov stated that Earth is being swept by extraordinary, rapid waves of cosmic electricity and a divine fire from cosmic space. Supposedly, I don't know, a galaxy somewhere blew up and there's this cosmic debris out there that is eventually going to come through our galaxy and it's going to affect all of our planets. This energy will rejuvenate and purify all matter, consuming negative thoughts, sentiments, and acts. Not really specific. Like, is that physical? Right? What fire? Okay, well, whatever. I'm in for it. The sixth race is the race of love. The transition will usher in the sixth race a new type of humanity built around the concept of fraternity and the law of one. This new civilization will nourish themselves exclusively on products of the vegetal realm. Oops, very much what Dolores said. Experience moderated climates and remember their previous incarnations. The rise of a new continent. Deunov predicted a major physical restructuring of the planet where some current continents will submerge and a completely new continent will rise in the Pacific Ocean for the sixth race. Edgar Cayce actually spoke of this. Things are sinking and others are going to come up. The damaged fruit rejection. Those who are bad, he uses this word. I'm not really into bad and good. Those who are bad and refuse to harmonize with the ascension waves will be unable to withstand the intensity of the cosmic fire. They will be rejected like damaged fruit transferred elsewhere and must wait tens of millions of years for a new ascending wave. They will be transferred elsewhere. So there's a whole group of people who are in a higher frequency who will be separated completely from the others. Whether it's another dimension or physically, no one has actually really come out and said that, but we're going to compare this here shortly. Edgar Cayce, the fifth root race and geological realignment. His readings approach the transition from an evolutionary standpoint rooted in the progression of consciousness and physical changes. So the fifth root race, he predicted that humanity is transitioning into a fifth root race, marking a new age and an expanded understanding of humanity's relationship to God. We've heard of the Hall of Records. This shift in consciousness is intimately tied to the physical discovery of three identical ancient Atlantean halls of records located in Bimini, Egypt, near the Sphinx, and the Yucatan. It's the first time I've heard about three of them. This is very exciting. I think some of these things are going to be discovered. I think that's going to be part of what happens in the next few years. Extended lifespan and free energy. In the new era, humans will live significantly longer, and humanity will perfect a gasless motor that operates using self-fueling created energy. Yeah, Edgar Cayce, pretty cool. The role of China. Cayce predicted that the height of civilization would move from the West to the East, with China awakening to become the cradle of Christianity as applied in the lives of men. Geopolitical and physical realignment. Cayce pointed to major planetary upheavals, including physical conflicts in the Persian Gulf, Libya, Egypt, and Syria, as indicators of the repeating cycles of time leading to the transition. Yeah, they've been fighting forever, right? What's new? But guess what? It's going to come to an end. All these cycles will. The Hopi prophecy, nature's warning, and the fifth world of peace. Here we go with this fifth root race. The Hopi teachings preserved by elders focus on a timeless ecological warning and the cyclic purification of Earth. Here we go again. The cycle of world destructions. The Hopi teach that Earth has already experienced three previous worlds that were systematically destroyed by fire, ice, and flood. We've heard about the flood for sure. When humans became greedy, worshipped technology, and forgot ethical laws to honor the earth. They worship technology. Nature's rebellion, earth changes such as extreme storms, changing seasons, earthquakes, and sickness that can't be cured for a long time. Oops, we just went through it, are the natural responses of a wounded Mother Earth trying to humble her careless children. Yeah, if you don't take care of your body, you get sick, right? You don't take care of Earth, she spews out. The fourth to fifth transition, he said the current fourth world is transitioning to the fifth world of peace. Survival underground. Those who hold onto the original instructions and respect the land, safety is found inside the earth. Communities retreat to underground chambers and caves to wait out the purification before emerging to resettle on the newly cleansed surface of the fifth world. Wow, this sounds very much alike. All of them do, right? So let's talk about the key differences. I asked about the nature of the new world. Dolores says a 5D parallel planet that physically splits from the old 3D planet. Peter Deunov says the nature of the new world will be a purified Earth with a new Pacific continent and moderated climate. Edgar Cayce says that the new world is a highly evolved Earth with extended lifespans and advanced technology. The Hopi prophecy says the new world will be a cleansed fifth world of peace on the same Earth. It will be here. What are the mechanics of transition? Dolores Cannon says it's shifting personal vibrational frequencies and releasing karma and fear. Peter Deunov says the transition is submission to cosmic fire and rapid cosmic electricity waves. Edgar Cayce says the transition is soul development, aligning with a fifth root race and unlocking ancient records. The Hopi prophecy says the transition is correcting human greed and respecting natural ecological laws. I think it's all the above. Now, let's talk about the physical form of humans. I wanted to know tell me physically what's going to happen. Dolores Cannon, she says transitioning into an immortal, non-aging light body. Deunov says this also. Evolution is what he says, into a sixth race of love, living on a vegetal diet. He also said lifespans would be extended, as I think they were in the past. Edgar Cayce said the physical forms would be evolution into a fifth root race with greatly extended lifespans. There we go. And the Hopis say that the physical humans emerge from underground shelter to resettle the surface. All right, so let's go with the fate of the unprepared. Dolores Cannon says they will remain on the oblivious old 3D Earth to fulfill karma. In other words, they're going to stay in the really unsettling and horrific conditions that exist. Peter Deunov said, absorbed, consumed by fire, and relocated to wait tens of millions of years. Woo-wee! Edgar Cayce says they will continue in the repeating cycle of reincarnation to learn lessons. And the Hopi say they will be wiped out by natural ecological purifications like fire, ice, or water. What's the source of help? Do we get any assistance here? Come on. Yeah, we're going to get lots of it, okay? But remember, they can't infringe on free will. So as long as we ask, asking is given. So the source of help. Dolores Cannon said the 3 waves of star soul volunteers sent as energetic anchors, and they've been here. And so then we have Peter Deunov, who says a spiritual elite called the Brothers of Humanity or Children of Love will help to facilitate us into a new world. Edgar Cayce says initiates unlocking the Hall of Records and spiritual principles in China. He brings China in a lot. That's very interesting. And of course, the Hopi said spiritual guardians and elders who pass down instructions to survive the flip. While Cannon focuses on a peaceful, invisible split of 2 different vibrational timelines, Deunov and the Hopi place heavy emphasis on planetary scale physical purification, natural disasters, and the collapse of current technology worshiping civilizations. In contrast, Cayce's prophecies remain the most grounded in geopolitical shifts, looking at literal locations like China and archaeological finds like the Egyptian Sphinx to signal the transition. I would love to find out, what questions do you have? Are you confused by that? I don't think any of them were super specific, like, okay, physically, like, where are we going? How do we get removed? What is this cleansing? Am I going to burn in fire to be cleansed? But I think if you are in a higher frequency, there's a protection around you because you are of the energy of love. And I don't think things can happen to you like they do with someone in fear. So in the basement, right? They're all tackling each other, hoarding, separating. We've got enemies and winners and losers. And the penthouse, everybody is welcome and beautiful because they're all giving. They all want to be in that community of love. All right. So we're going to experience something completely different if you are in that frequency. You're not going to be aware of what's going on in the basement, even though you know it and you're still in the same mansion together. So anybody can get out of the basement and go to that top floor. Are you sitting in your armchair eating Cheetos and telling the world how bad they are? Or do you realize this is all a play? It's an illusion, and we're doing it, and we chose it, and we're supposed to be learning lessons. And if there are horrific things going on, and there are, what are we doing to change it? The meek are not the weak. They will take a stand, and there will be things that will be stopped. There are repercussions for everything that has gone on this planet. Anything we have or they have done that has been on a lower frequency, they're going to pay the price for that. They're going to understand that pain and what they've done to others. Nobody goes without that. But it's not judgment or punishment. It's a reckoning and an understanding and learning that goes back into the collective. And I know some of you won't believe this, and that's okay. I respect your opinions. So let's make comments, nice ones. Let's be kind to one another. I love to hear what you think about all of this, if you even care, because the truth is, hey, whatever's going to happen, I'm going with it. I'm just working on this. And I believe that that's all we're supposed to be doing, and that all these messages and predictions and prophecies are meant to tell us that there's a time of reckoning, and you've got to ask yourself where you're going to be when that happens, no matter what form it comes in. I have written a book for you 2 years ago. It was a download. Hey, everybody, you can go down into my description. Those of you who want to know what makeup I use, what hair stuff I use, I don't use anything that comes in plastic. Stop using plastic. You're part of the 3D world, and you will remain in it if you make choices because it's inconvenient to you. I have discounts for you guys. Also, I want to just ask you, if you're sharing my videos, and ask you to subscribe and ring that bell. Everyone has their own opinion, and I welcome them. Let's be a kind community to one another. And those things that you complain about going on out there, my next question is, what are you doing to change it? So go explore all those beautiful companies that are doing the right thing for a new world. And also, I have free webinars called Breakthrough Fear. It says free inspiration down there, but I give you some practices and exercises, and that's all free. You can go down there. And the bottom line is, you are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I'm sending my blessings to you, my friend. You are loved and protected. You always have angels and protectors with you. Yes, they're part of the illusion too, but they're playing their roles quite well. Call upon them, not to change things for you, but to assist you in the change that you choose. Because that's the game, my friend. It's called free will. I believe we can do this. And I believe there are wonderful things happening. So I have something special on Friday. I'm going to research all the wonderful things that are happening out there that are meant to bring in and usher in a new world. And some of these people are billionaires using money in a way that could be productive for so many of us. I'm going to see you in the next video, my friend. And if you have any suggestions, please give them to me in the comments, and I will look them up and include them. We're going into something quite beautiful, frightening and disturbing and exciting, because for everything that changes, there's something new that's going to replace it. Don't worry, it's not going to be taken from you. It's going to evolve in something new and perfect, the way it should have been and could have been the whole time. But we learned so much along the way, didn't we? I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.